one of the issues that emerged late last week, the Tom Brady Instagram rants about the rule change that expands dramatically the universe of available jerseys. I still don't know why he waited until after the rule was enacted. Why do you wait? Why do you wait? Make it known before Wednesday.
Seriously,
Did you not know? Everybody was talking about it. Come on, man. I don't get it. I think it's overblown. You're going to study film. You're going to know the numbers of the guys that you're facing. You know that the linebacker wears 7. You know that the defensive back wears 33. You know that the outside linebacker wears 2. You're going to know all that. I don't buy this idea there's going to be chaos for the offense because you got guys in different jerseys.
Well, it's not going to make it chaos, but it's going to make it harder. It definitely is. There's no doubt about that. Again, it's a game with split-second decisions, things like that. And now, yes, there is going to be a little bit of that element. And maybe not, again, Mike, like you said, you're going to know the starters and things like that. But it's going to get into backups and things like that to where now you're going to be like, wait, is the backup Will linebacker number 8, or is that the free safety who's the backup safety? Wait, I'm not sure. They kind of have the same body size. It's going to be those type of things. That's where it's going to be, a little confusing. In a game of, again, where it's a blur, it's snapshots, you're looking for little context clues. And for like a pass protecting running back, his rules usually are secondary blitzers, things like that. So he can look for those type of numbers. Again, it's not a game changer, but it is going to change things a little bit for quarterbacks and centers and make life harder on them.
Well, misery does love company, and the coach who made Tom Brady miserable, Bill Belichick, also agrees. That's what got me to stop and say, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Belichick hates this rule. The Patriots, one of a handful of teams that voted against it. Only 4 or 5 were against it. It would have taken 9 to kill it. But the rule passes, the numbers are changing, and we all got to get used to it. I like it. I think it was a long time coming. And if it was that big of a deal, strategically, Nick Saban would be utilizing it to the full capacity at Alabama.
The game's more simple.
Really doesn't.
The game's more simple in college, so it doesn't matter quite as much at the college level. The NFL, the pass protections are way more intricate and have way more detailed rules and things like that, to where sorting things out is a little bit more important as compared to college football, where they just go, hey, all 5 guys, take a step to the right. And anybody to your right, you block. And then we'll put the back to the left edge of you. And it's a little different world that way. But, I mean, Mike, I'm not going to argue it too hard. You're right. At the end of the day, these guys are making millions of dollars. They're smart. They'll be okay.
Next topic. Knowing what you know now, would you rather have Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert or Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow for the next 5 years?
Justin Herbert. I'm not even going to pause with that. It's the Verizon speed round, and I'm going speedy with that one. Because, one, we know Joe Burrow hurt his knee, so that puts him behind the 8 ball in that conversation alone. And number 2, as awesome as Joe Burrow looked before, hurting his knee, Justin Herbert looked awesomer. So I don't know what else to say. He looked awesomer. I mean, he was amazing. So I am going to go with Justin Herbert.
And let's remember, Joe Burrow started the season, and I know there was no offseason program, there was no preseason, but he was the number 1 guy from day 1 of training camp.
Yeah.
Herbert was stuck behind Tyrod Taylor up until the moment that Taylor had his unfortunate interaction with Dr. Needle. And Herbert got thrown into it. He got thrown into it.
Yeah.
And he never faltered, never missed a beat. Once there was enough film out there for people to see what he did, he kept going.
He did.
And I agree with you. And I think as much as I love Joe Burrow,
me too,
and I'm rooting for him to get over this knee injury and get back to where he was, Justin Herbert, and by virtue of the fact that he stayed healthy, if nothing else, showed me a little bit more last year. And I know that that's unavoidable, but if you're going to say next 5 years, I'm going to go with the safer bet in Justin Herbert. Yeah. All right, which Alabama receiver gets drafted first? We talked about this a little bit earlier. Is it going to be Devontae Smith or is it going to be Jalen Waddle?
I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. I mean, it does sound like it's close. There's no doubt about it. But I'm going to go with Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. Just everything he did last year. It's hard not to turn on the film and just look at it and go, whoa, special. I'll go Smith. What about you? You going to go Waddle?
I'm going to go Waddle because I
Yeah.
think the Dolphins would take Waddle over Smith, and they're on unless they trade down. Maybe they trade down and somebody takes Devontae Smith, and then Waddle falls to them. That's a way that they could look at this and maybe pull it off. PointsBet has the over/under for both being gone by 11.5 for both. And remember last year, people thought Jerry Jeudy was going to go before Henry Ruggs. It was a little bit of a surprise, Chris, when Ruggs went to the Raiders before Jeudy went to the Broncos.
Yeah, no, I know that was a surprise. So I mean, again, the fact that it's the second year in a row we're talking about two Alabama receivers, both going in the top 20, and these two receivers really, I don't think it's even close as compared to the two last year. I like Jeudy and Ruggs. There was a lot to like, but I don't think they're on the level of these two. These two, to me, are like can't-miss prospects, going to have great careers. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Which general manager has the most stressful 3 days ahead of him in the 2021 draft?
Man, what are you? I'm. This one's like this.
I know mine. You want mine?
Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
Howie Roseman.
I was going to say that too. I know.
Cut between the board and cut between the amateur Mel Kiper who owns the team.
Right.
It's got to be Howie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Howie was.
Who the hell is Jeffrey Lurie?
Howie was definitely one of the first names that went into my head. Just because, of course, the scrutiny around the Eagles, the front office right now, everything going on there. After that, I'm going to go with the teams that have picks. I mean, let's say the Jets. Yeah, the Jets. It's big time. You just traded away Sam Darnold. You're taking Zach Wilson. You got another pick in the first round. You got a lot of picks in this draft altogether. They got a chance to make a splash and really turn their team and help to turn the corner here. So I'll go with Joe Douglas as the guy of the next stressful 3 days.
Something you said there reminded me of the low-stress draft that the Saints had in 1999 because they traded all of their draft
Right.
to get Ricky Williams, and Mike Ditka went golfing on the second day of the draft. They had nothing to do. All their picks were gone.
It's amazing.
All right, last question, very importantly. Will you believe anything you hear that is attributed to an anonymous scout at any point this week?
No, absolutely not. And what I really want to say, too, to a lot of this, anonymous scout stuff, I want to say is, so what? The scouts don't know anything. Nobody's telling them what's going on in the organization. Yeah, they might know what players they like and, what the players that are viewed as a high-level, prospects for their team, but they don't know. The GMs, the pro personnel guys, the owners, they're not telling the scouts either. They don't know. So, no, I'm not going to believe any of that.
I never believe any of it,
Right.
whether it's this week or any other week. And, I've had people push back to me privately, well, the boards are set and the teams know what they're going to do, and nothing these guys say is really going to change anything.
No.
The target, I think, is ownership. I believe that owners are far more involved in the picks, especially round one, than anyone will ever admit to us. And I think if you can make the owner wobbly, if you can get the owner to start asking tough questions, and we know how much of a CYA exercise this whole thing is.
Yeah.
If the owner starts asking questions about a guy that you have here, and you can tell the owner's getting shaky. That it can't. And look, bottom line is, I know teams deliberately try to do it. They use the media to leak negative information for guys they like, so those guys will slide. I know for a fact that it happens. And when you know that it happens, what that means is no opinions anonymously provided by any scouts, coaches, or executives can ever be trusted, because the people who are giving you those opinions have skin in the game. And we know that they do it. They try to do it. And they wouldn't waste their time trying to do it, Chris, if they didn't think it potentially would.
No, definitely. And added to that, I'll piggyback off of something you said. First off, not everybody board's set right now. No, they're not. They're still tinkering with it right now. All the close calls and things like that. We're hearing through reports the 49ers, they're 5 days away. They've traded for the number 3 pick. They've just got done with draft deliberations. We have multiple people saying that. So that just tells you they're not set in stone anything right now. I think there's a number of teams where the important decision makers really just got done with all their homework as far as the draft's concerned in the last 10 days or so. So there is still tinkering with these boards. Not everybody knows exactly how this is going to play out. So I think there's still work to be done here. And no, I'm with you. I'm not believing anything from anybody's mouth right now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.